here is my review of Tales of the Empire. Now, overall, I'd say this show was okay. There were some really good moments, but there was also some bad moments in there. So in the first episode, we got to see the Battle of Dathomir in the Clone Wars from Morgan Elsbeth's perspective, which I'm pretty sure was in Season 4, Episode 19 of the Clone Wars. And that was really cool to see. Seeing all the battle droids again, and General Grievous carried the show, honestly. He was just so evil, bro. Just like killing all those Night Sisters. And that fight between the Night Sister and Grievous was pretty cool. But yeah, Grievous is brutal, bro. Also in that episode, we saw these like Night Sisters almost, which were the opposite of Night Sisters. They use like the light side, I guess you could say. I don't know. They're interesting characters. Then in episode 2, we got to see the place from Mandalorian season 2, which that was cool to see, where Ahsoka and Mando went and fought Morgan Elsbeth. We also got to see that Morgan Elsbeth was the one who made the TIE Defender, which is interesting, because we were always wondering that in Star Wars Rebels, because Thrawn isn't really an engineer, so he didn't come up with the designs. But I gotta say, if the Empire listened and actually used the TIE Defender, I think the Rebellion would have lost. Because it had a shield and a hyperdrive and more weapons on it, so I think it would have been way more effective against the Rebellion. This is honestly the best version of Thrawn I've seen in live action and animation. I think young Thrawn looks really good. And seeing Rook, again, that was really cool. And Pelion. And I gotta admit, the fight scenes in this show were really good. Like the choreography, the Morgan Elsbeth versus Rook fight, I liked that. General Grievous versus the Night Sister, then Barriss Offee versus the Jedi and the Inquisitor. I forgot to mention that the animation in the show is actually really good. It's a mix between Clone Wars and Rebels. I actually really liked it. It was clean. And then the third episode, we get to see in the New Republic timeline, which was really dumb just to take a few guards and try to take control of the planet. That's one of the reasons the New Republic failed. Morgan Elsbeth makes quick work of the New Republic. And we actually hear Bo-Katan in the calm that I forgot her name, that gave to the town leader. And then Morgan Elsbeth just burnt down the entire forest around that village, which the village stays in slavery until Ahsoka and Mando come in Mando season 2. I'd give the Morgan Elsbeth episodes probably a 7. Now let's talk about the Barriss Offee episodes. Episode 1 was actually really good. I thought it was a great episode. Seeing Barriss Offee during Order 66, feeling that something's wrong, and seeing the Jedi Temple, that was cool to see. And then seeing the whole training sequence between Barriss Offee and the Grand Inquisitor, that was incredible. The fighting was great. Later, when Barriss Offee fights the old Jedi, that was really cool. She really used the dark side there. Like, she just force choked him and pushed him off the ledge into the abyss. That was pretty crazy. And then seeing Vader at the end come in, like, it's time to meet your new master. That was really cool, but I feel like Vader should have been used way more than he did. Like, he kind of just got clickbaited for the show, so I think more people would watch it. But he didn't even have one voice line. Like, it's so easy to give him a voice line now because literally they use AI. So, I don't know. I think he could have had way more potential in this show, but we still don't know who Marok is. I really hope we get to know who Marok is one of these days, because we still have no idea who he is. Now, we move on to where the show goes downhill real fast. So, the start of episode 5 was okay, you know? They go on a mission, Barriss and the Inquisitor, and they have to go find this Jedi. They go to the village, they kill the village, this kid goes to Barriss Offee, and Barriss Offee's kind of like has a soft spot for this kid. Then they go up on the mountain, find the Jedi, and they fight the Jedi, and that was a really cool fight scene, I will admit. But Barriss Offee getting turned back to the light side that easily? I don't think so. I'm sorry. I do not think that was a good choice. Whoever made that choice, no, don't do that. Because this random kid just turns Barriss Offee back to the light side. One, she hated the Jedi. She bombed the Jedi Temple. She framed Ahsoka. She thought the Jedi had lost their way. And now she's just calling herself a Jedi again. Like, what is this? I don't understand. and then she just pushes the Inquisitor off the cliff and she survives. What do you know? So yeah, the beginning of this episode, it was good, but near the end, I don't know what happened there. Barriss Offee shouldn't have turned back to the light side. And if they wanted her to turn back to the light side, okay, sure. But make the arc longer and more meaningful. It was too short. And the person who brought her back was just not a good choice. Like, if anyone, it should have been Ahsoka. They've gone through this, like, long, drawn-out battle. And Ahsoka gets through to Barriss, like how Obi-Wan couldn't do to Anakin. So, that would have been way better, in my opinion. And then we get to episode 6. Which, I don't know what happened with this episode. Barriss just turns into this light side monk. And for a second, I thought it was the same planet in the Clone Wars, where Ahsoka took those younglings to get their Kyber crystal for their lightsaber, but I think it's a different ice planet. But she's just healing kids now, and just being like a doctor almost. It's weird. I don't know who made that decision at Lucasfilm. Then she just fights the Inquisitor, dodging all the attacks. Then she goes into the cave to try to catch the people escaping. And it's just, Barriss dies in a not meaningful way. Like, she just got stabbed, and I mean, again, Reva got stabbed twice by Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. Then Sabine got stabbed. Then Kylo Ren got stabbed. Then the Grand Inquisitor got stabbed. What do they all have in common? They lived. They literally moved on just fine. Poor Qui-Gon is the only person who's gotten stabbed and not survived. There was other people in the Clone Wars too as well, but he's the main one. The lightsabers at Disney don't really mean much anymore, but whatever, man. Honestly, I'm gonna give the Barriss Offee arc probably a 5. The first episode, I'd honestly give it a 9, but the other 2 episodes probably average out around a 4 or a 5. The Morgan Elsbeth episodes were actually pretty good. I'd give them probably a 7. So yeah, overall, I thought this show was okay. It was nothing impressive. It had some really good moments, but then it had some pretty bad moments. We still don't know if Barriss Offee is alive or not. I guess we'll have to see a cliffhanger. But yeah, I think this show could have had way more potential. They could have probably chosen some other characters too, like it's Tales of the Empire, so what about focusing on Vader for 3 episodes? Yeah, I think that would have been better. I definitely think Tales of the Jedi was way better, but this show was still okay. So yeah, there's my review of Tales of the Empire. I'd probably give the whole show a 6.5, 7 out of 10. I hope you have a great rest of your day. May the Force be with you, always.